David Siteman Garland here, Siteman Softball Podcast, going live. We are live, my friends, on Facebook, YouTube, possibly Twitch, and we got a variety of different cool things going on here. So I'm going to let everyone kind of hop on in there, make sure our stream is live. You can hear us say hello, hear us. It's just me. If you can hear me, if you hear us, you've got voices in your head. If you can hear me, you are in good shape. So I want to share this in a couple different places here. Make sure we are ready to go with today's episode. It's going to start here in a second. So what I always like to do here as we log on is I like to send a messenger to our 2023 Siteman PR team. Make sure everybody knows we're live. And I like to go in Siteman Softball Nation, make sure that we're good. By the way, there is a way, I don't really know how to do it yet, where your names can appear on the screen when you do comments if you comment from Siteman Softball Nation. If you comment from YouTube or if you comment from anything like that, you're going to I'll always be able to see what you're doing and see your name. But for some reason, do it in the Siteman Softball Nation group. You can't see your name. It just says like Facebook user will show up. Like you see Drew Rogers on the right, LFG, Drew Rogers. Good to see you, my friend. So we're going to get started here with today's episode. We're going to be shooting the shiznit here today. Talk a few different things, a few different topics. I want to go over. We're talking about some new Siteman players. We're going to answer some frequently asked questions that you guys submitted. And also, if you have more questions on the podcast here today, we are live. So feel free to indulge, ask yourself a question. You know, if you feel like getting rowdy in here, ask us a question. Reminder on a few things. Lots of spots where you can find the Siteman Softball Podcast. So Facebook.com/David Garland, at Siteman Softball Nation on Facebook, at Siteman Softball on Instagram, Siteman Softball on, and we're still working on getting that Twitch channel up, which is going to be Siteman Softball on there as well. So there's some places to check it out. And all the audio, if you are more of a listener type and you want to take podcast with you in your car, on your phone, whatever you want to do, listen on Spotify, whatever you want to do, that's cool. SitemanSoftball.com/ to find out all the information there. Okay. So lots to discuss today. We're going to hop right into it here. And first thing I want to talk about actually is not necessarily related to our new players and things like that, which I'll talk about here in a sec. But this past weekend, had a little fun. It was the Halloween tournament. It was the 12th annual Halloween tournament in St. Louis, put on by Kate Belch, and great tournament. And a couple of things I want to note about this tournament. One, a lot of fun. It's a tournament that they're fast, short game. You never kind of know what the weather's going to be like. It all goes towards Chad's Coalition for Suicide Prevention, so it's all charity. And I mentioned this before on the show. I really like the format of this tournament because it changes a lot, but it allows all levels of players to play, which I think is really cool, right? Because you play some round robin games, and then you get seeded into a elimination pool, either gold, silver, bronze, based on how you did in your round robin game. So you'll see teams all the way from rec all the way up, league night teams all the way up to tournament teams playing in there, and it's a lot of fun. We had a fun little team. It was, a couple guys from Siteman, and then that we play league with and friends, and we had a nice variety of a team. I believe we went. Well, here's the thing. After the round robin, it was single elim this year. Last year was double elim. This year was single elim. And so we went undefeated in round robin, so we're 3-0. Then we won our round of 8 game. And then we lost in the semifinals in a close game. And so we ended up in third out of 24 in the tournament. So that was a lot of fun. And I feel like the ball was not flying like it did last year was colder. And the ball was like zooming out of there. We had 80 home runs last year. This year, the ball, it just wasn't going as far. I mean, this year for anybody, there were still home runs, but it was more like in the 30 range versus 80. But donating nonetheless to Chad's Coalition. So we'll be doing $5 per home run. I got to calculate that up this week, and we'll get that donated. out to them. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, it was just, that tournament is so much fun. And I just had one of those days where I just was completely out of it. I mean, like it was really weird. Like I was so excited about the tournament and ready to go. And then I got there and it was like I was tired. I was grumpy. Like it made no sense. It just happens sometimes, like you just got to sort of battle through it for no reason. That day I was like sort of out of it. But hey, you know what? Such is life. We roll on, and I think I had a lot of fun. And that was a good way to kind of wrap up the year, the unofficial part of the year. The official part of the year obviously ended at Worlds. This is like the unofficial part of the year. Now we can enjoy ourselves a little late fall and winter. So let me go in here. I just want to check something here on Facebook real fair. And by the way, feel free to say hi in the comments. I want to make sure I can see you guys and make sure I can see your comments as well here on the video. Let me just check something really, really quickly here. And we should be good here in a second. Okay. All right. We're all good. We are all good. Okay. So now I want to give a quick little shout out here. Something important. We like to do a little shout out in each episode here. So I want to say hi by the way, hi to the guys that are saying hi. Eric Conan. I'm good to see you. Want to give a little shout out here to our sponsor, Siteman Cancer Center. Very important website I want to share with you guys. I'm going to put that up on the screen here real quick. Let's put that up on the screen for you. So this is getscreenednow.com. Getscreenednow.com. So getscreenednow.com. It's cancer screenings. It's everything that you need to kind of find it. And I know this is like not a fun subject to talk about, right? Cancer, not the most fun, but very, very important. I figure if this show can even help one person, we're in good shape. So you can find how to get a really simple free screening. If you just go on there to getscreenednow.com, you enter your zip code. And in Missouri or Illinois, it's going to give you the closest area to get screened. If you're outside, it'll be interesting to see what it says. But regardless of whether you go to Siteman or somewhere else, just make sure that you're getting your screenings that your doctor recommends or that are proper for your age group. Because people don't do it, especially since COVID. A lot of people have still not gotten back to things that they maybe should do. So if you're thinking about this, maybe this will serve a quick little reminder. Maybe it's going to save someone in the future. They'll say, hey, you know what? I need to get screened and it helped me. So there you go. It's getscreened.com, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. So we appreciate that. That's our little PSA here on the show. We always like to have a little PSA. So there we go. Okay. So first main subject here. As you saw, 2 major signings with Siteman Softball and also a bunch of re-signings for Siteman Softball. They announced this week. It was a busy week. It was a busy week last week, putting all this stuff up online. There's a lot going on. But let's talk about this a little bit. I'll bring up Facebook here. Make sure I don't forget as I kind of talk about this. So, first of all, let's talk about players coming back this year. And, obviously, that's kind of an interesting thing where you start for next season is, okay, who's coming back? Who do we want to retain? All that kind of thing. So what I'm very proud to say is that every single player from last year's team that we offered a contract to this year accepted. So we were 100% on that. And, for folks that, we're not renewed or moving on, we have nothing but the best for all of them. Still close with every single player that played for this team. And so, that's kind of the art of the business is, when you look to change levels, go levels, different things you're going to do. Unfortunately, not everyone comes back, right? I mean, so we're always looking to improve in a certain way. So we had some folks that are no longer be with us from last season. We wish them nothing but the best of luck. But moving forward, our signings, bringing back Jose Hernandez, our extremely steady center fielder. In fact, we brought back the entire Arkansas car / Arkansas plane, depending on where we're going. So Jose Hernandez, Drew Rogers, and of course, Derek Berginski. That is our Arkansas coalition, all re-signed for next year. Jose obviously being center fielder, Derek more of a corner infielder, and Drew, we kind of stick him all over the place on the infield. We'll find a spot for him somewhere. So we've got those three retained. Very excited to have those guys back. Big signing, Jagger Harjo. So Jagger, very fortunate to be back with us this year, meaning we are very fortunate to have Jagger back. He's a great teammate, great player, great pop. Is only going to get better. So he's back. Ball whacker guy, as we call him, Mr. Brandon Keene, who led our team in average last year. Is just an absolute beast. He is back for next year, and another huge linchpin on the team. Brandon Keene, one of our major leaders, John Branham, returning. John did everything that was always asked of him, and a great leader on the team. Locked it down at shortstop last year, and didn't start the year as the leadoff hitter. And by the end of the year was the leadoff hitter. And when he was the leadoff hitter, I don't know what the percentage is. I have to go look at it. He basically got a hit almost every game to start the game, which is pretty crazy. So John Branham returning next year. Great guy to have back on the team. Eric Conan, our pitcher, is returning. Again, Eric and Derek. It rhymes, but there we go. Eric and Derek were our two sort of mid-season-ish. Early-ish was Derek, and kind of mid-ish was Eric pickups that really took the team to the next level last year. And so Eric, being a veteran pitcher and great hitter, will be back with the squad, of course, in 2023. And then the last addition of the year, which also added a great element to our team, was Tyler Cookland. He is back next year, 2023. It will be interesting to see kind of what his role is. Probably starting the season more at, fourth outfielder, defensive replacement, great speed, great potential with him, and very fortunate to have him back here for 2023. And I think that player with a huge upside for sure. And then Luke Boyster will be returning as well. Luke, longtime player with us. He's been with us and he put trust in us several years ago. And I'm saying us, meaning Siteman Softball, where he left another team. And then he came over to Siteman, and, really when we were at our infancy, right? And we were kind of talking about what we're going to build. And Luke's been a great, and I still think that Luke has not shown what he really can do. I expect another level from Luke this year, and I expect him to have a big year, and he's going to have a big year. So Luke Boyster is returning, retaining our head coach and general manager, and one of the busiest man behind the scenes in softball, Matt Petrov. He'll be back at a helm, and Matt, for all his craziness, does a tremendous job at it. So he'll be back. Sean Rogers this year. Now, kind of an interesting role for him. It's going to be a little bit of a dual role, a little bit of a different role for Sean, for the big man. Let's see. Ian Castle says, is there any truth to the rumor that Sean Rogers demanded a private suite with a heart-shaped tub and a vibrating bed on all road trips? That is true. Ian, he did request that. The request was, being considered. It's being considered. We'll let you know how that goes. By the way, when anyone makes a ridiculous, which happens all the time, usually people joking, I always say, just, put it in writing, mail it to me. It'll be considered, and then if no one's ever actually mailed me anything. So there we go. But yes, Sean Rogers, this year, a little bit of a different role for Sean, is that, Sean still has really tremendous pop. I mean, he's the type of guy he put in instant home run potential, right? And Sean this year, his role is going to be a little bit different. He's going to be big time on the coaching side, and also, if available, to come in, or if we need him, he's going to be ready for that as well. So Sean's going to be assistant coach, but also available if necessary to come in and help out where need be with the team. So new role for Mr. Sean in 2023. All right, now let's talk about the new folks. We've got two big signings. You probably saw this on Facebook. If you're on Facebook.com/David Garland or Siteman Softball Nation on Facebook. Two big signings. We've got more to come. Can't say about those yet until it's on the dotted line. I never say anything until it's on the dotted line, right? So there's never speculation or like this person might be coming, they might not. We don't do that. Once it's on the dotted line, meaning signed, right? We are ready to go. That's the only time I'll ever say someone's officially on the team. I feel like there's so much sketchiness in softball sometimes with this stuff where, I don't want to ever announce someone and the next week they go to 5 other teams or whatever. So I never announce anything until it is 100% official, right? So we've got a couple, though, down the line here soon, especially one that I've got major fingers crossed that we should be hearing about in the next week, give or take. And I'm sure he's watching this right now. He knows where to go. But let's talk about this. First big signing, Willie Dooley. Very, very excited about this. Willie Dooley is someone that brings, not only experience, played with Dan Smith, played then with Proton AA, played with MAJ, my Auto Jack. He's played A all the way up to major. And not only does he bring great pop, so I'm talking about he hits the heck out of the ball, right? And not only does he bring actually a great glove. A lot of people don't know that about Willie, but Willie has a great glove, first base, things like that, because most of the highlights you see of Willie, if you've never seen him play, are hitting home runs and bombs, right? But if you haven't seen him play, if you have seen him play, you know that he's also a very, very good defender at first base, locking it down at first base. So you get that. But a major thing with Willie is you're getting a lot of leadership, right? You're getting someone that is going to fire up the guys, has been there, done that. And also, I always look for guys on the team, I got to be honest, that are not only good guys, but have a little bit of a chip, have a little something they want to prove, right? And Willie's definitely in that category, man. I mean, he wants to come out here and absolutely crush it this year. He's coming off of a knee injury, and trust me, he wants to come back and show that he's the big dog in town, And I'm looking forward to that, and that's going to bring a lot of good elements to our team, and already, a big elevation for the team with Willie. So we're excited to have him. He's obviously going to be a huge part of the team and a huge part of our leadership as well on the team, and that's going to be big for next year. So Willie Dooley, of course, was the big signing that we mentioned last week, but I just want to make sure that because it was after the podcast to talk about it this week. Second big signing. All right. And this one was announced yesterday, so the day before the podcast, is Brent McClure. Okay. So Brent McClure he was also on Proton AA last year and has played with Proton, LNS Glass, MAJ as well. And he was actually a college baseball teammate of Jagger. And what you're getting with Brent is you're getting a great glove up the middle. And that was something that we wanted to improve. We wanted to get more athletic there. We wanted to have someone could take away some outs. And Brent is certainly that guy, but also someone that can hit, right? Because, we all know this, for those that follow conference softball, this is really kind of softball in general, tournament level softball, is that your three most important people on the field are your pitcher, your middleman, your center fielder, right? And what you'll see sometimes at the top levels as you go up, is that sometimes in some of those positions, you make some sacrifices. So, for example, you might have an amazing pitcher who can't hit. You might have an amazing middleman that can't hit, and you might have an amazing center fielder that can't hit, right? That does happen. Now, you can't have all three, or you're going to be in big trouble, right? So sometimes you make sacrifices with that. But what I'm happy to say with Brent, because he is a great hitter and he's had plenty of at-bats at conference to show that, right? You're adding someone that can also hit. And so that's great when you see that going up the middle there. You've the Eric Conan, who can pitch and hit. You've got Brent, who can field and hit. And you got Jose, who can field, catch, run, and hit, right? Up the middle there of the team. So Brent is going to be a huge mainstay on this team, and also someone that I know fits in with our group, which is very important. Obviously, he's played with Willie. He's played with Jagger. And so we know what we're getting here in terms of person and personality, because that's just as important. You don't want people coming on the team that are going to be a problem. You don't want, no pun intended here, right? Based on what we talk about, but you don't want a cancer, right? You don't want those issues that's going to mess with your team chemistry. And so that was another thing as well that we came in. But Brent's going to come out here, and I think Brent has a lot of great ball to show people as well and someone that could come out there and I think has a lot to prove as well and continue to improve and go up in this game. So Brent McClure and Willie Dooley, big signings here that we're excited to have here at Siteman Softball. Now, like I said, might be another announcement soon. Waiting on it. We're waiting on it. We'll find out about that soon. Once I have that, I'm going to have a Facebook post, facebook.com/David Garland, when something's on the dotted line. But we're going the exact direction that I thought we would this year, and very happy about that. And it's a two-way street. Us choosing players choosing us, and making sure it's the right fit, right? And so, I think it's a testament to what we've built here, where some guys that have played higher levels are saying, "Hey, I want to be a part of this," and that's a good thing. And so we're pumped to have that as we move forward, and stay tuned as we have more announcements coming up. I need to drink some iced coffee here while I'm at it, by the way. We'll get them as a sponsor maybe, right? Okay. So, by the way, another thing that is coming soon, I don't know, I don't have a timeline on this yet, but I'm working on a Siteman Softball store that we're going to have really more for families and things like that, but anyone that wants some stuff. I'm working on something. There'll probably be a percentage of it going to charity, going to Siteman Cancer Center, but people that want like a gear of some kind. So t-shirt, kid shirt. We'll see what else we could get on there. A variety of different things that we're going to have with the Siteman Softball name on it. And so we're going to work on that and probably have a percentage of that going to charity. That was something that was requested, that, maybe having a little bit of slight time in the off season, even though it's not really an off season, and get that going for you guys. Cause that's been requested, especially by, significant others of players on the team. So we're going to get that going. Now, other subject I want to talk about here today. This is going to be a massively long show, by the way, but if you have any other questions, you can fire them in there. Do my very best to answer them here today on the show. But a common question I've been getting, and I get this everywhere. Instant messages, that just dated myself back to the 1990s. DMs on Instagram, Facebook, private messages, also commenting under posts of people asking, how do I get noticed to go to that next level? So, I'm a C player, or I'm a D player, or even B player, and I'm thinking, how do I get noticed by a conference team? What can I do? Is there anything I can do? Is it just who you know and all that kind of stuff, and networking and that jazz, or can my play speak for itself? So, I'm not necessarily an expert on the subject, but I can absolutely share with you what I've seen, and some tips and some advice that I can share with you, okay? First of all, you got to change that mentality. If your thought is it's only about who you know and that's all that matters, okay, let's get that out of your head. However, also understand that you have to put yourself out there and start knowing people, right? Start knowing people. How do you know people? Well, if there's a big tournament and you have an opportunity to sign up for it, right? So if you're within driving distance of a conference tournament and you're on a C team or a D team, whatever it is, go and play it. Are you going to win the tournament? No. Are you going to win a game? Maybe. But you're going to get out there and you'd be surprised. People are always watching. It's always good to put stuff on tape. So meaning that you never know, someone could, beat your team by 50, right? And then say, you know what? We beat them by 50, but that center fielder was really good. What's his name? Or, boy, we beat them by 25, but guess what? That shortstop was vacuuming him up everything, or that first baseman could really hit. So putting yourself out there and putting it on tape, if you will, meaning by playing the bigger events, is one thing that you can absolutely do. Second thing is, don't be afraid to introduce yourself to people to get on radar screen, right? At these events, you'll find that most guys, super nice. Go up, introduce yourself, right? It cannot hurt. You can't be someone, and I say this in business a lot as well, is that you don't want to be the best kept secret, right? Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. What are some other ways you can do to put yourself out there, okay? Number one is, listen, who cares what other people think? That's the first thing you got to not worry about. Feel free to put clips up on Facebook, put them on Instagram, put them on wherever you want to go. Whatever you're doing, put some cool stuff up, put some highlights, whatever you want to do. People spot people from videos. Yeah, I'm dead serious. put yourself up on video, right? Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about all that kind of stuff. A lot of people are very self-conscious about it. But, film, get a GoPro, whatever you want to do, put it up. It cannot hurt you, okay? It cannot hurt you. It can only get you going the right direction, okay? Another thing you can do is they have a free agency board on, it's the, go to conferenceussa.com. There is a free agency board you can sign up for, okay? What was interesting when I was talking to, just example, Alicia Bush from West Point, she went through a year a couple years ago where a lot of her players were gone to different teams the next year, and she had to completely rebuild. And I said, Alicia, what'd you do? And she said, well, I started with the free agency, and I started looking at people and going from there. So putting your name on any type of list like that cannot hurt. And so there's one on Conference USSSA. You can go there. Let me just check on that real quick. I'm going to go there and check it out right now while I'm on here live. Make sure I didn't make that up. There we go. There's free agents right at the top of conferenceussa.com. And then if you scroll down, all you have to do is email DW at USSSA.com, and you could tell him exactly what you need to do, and you can put yourself on that list. And you can see right now, I'm just looking at, you can't see it, I'm just looking at it, that there's, I don't know, 50 people on there maybe or something like that at the most. So feel free to add yourself to that list. It cannot hurt you at all. Add yourself to the list, okay? Last thing, and this is all about visibility, okay? This is 2022 into 2023, and, you're responsible for your own marketing, my friends. You're responsible for your own promotion, right? Another thing you could do is, reach out to John Kings, reach out to other people that are kind of influential in the space, see if he'll do a free agency post for you. Okay, those. If he doesn't, don't get mad at him. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Do your own free agency post on Facebook or Instagram or both or whatever it is. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, okay? The other thing that I want to note is that, yes, it's about talent. It's about skill. It's about all those kinds of things you need to do. But there's a couple things that people don't think about. Number one is you have to be able to do things fast and be committed. So you got to know that some team might call you on a Wednesday because of an injury and try to get you somewhere by Friday. Can you do that? Are you available? Right? Availability is a big thing. If you're not, might not be a good thing for you, right? To get picked up. So availability is another big thing. The other big thing that you want, especially as an up-and-comer, you want to be known as a good teammate and not a prima donna, right? I mean, as an up-and-comer, people are going to ask about you. They're going to ask your current team. They're going to ask people that played against you. And I know, at least from our standpoint for sure, that's like the kiss of death, right? You do not want, you want to hear that someone's a great guy, a great teammate, would fit in well. You don't want to hear, well, if he doesn't start or do this or that, he's going to quit or he's going to be begging for this, that, or the other, right? So you have to really be thinking about that. How are you carrying yourself? How are you with your team, etc.? And I'm not sure who's ringing my doorbell right now, but I have to go check it. Hang on 1 second, because I'm the only person here right now. My luck. So give me 1 sec. Be right back. Brief interruption. Whenever you do a live podcast at home, that's when anyone's going to ring your doorbell and there's going to be nobody else here. So that's just the way it works. All good. So, that's kind of my checklist of things to do. And I can tell you one thing not to do is to complain about it, right? Complaining about it, meaning that you say, oh, no one notices me, no one sees me or whatever. That's not doing any help for you. Get yourself out there, get visible, make yourself available, join whatever lists, do whatever promotion you need to do. And just, if you want it bad enough, and you got the skill level to back it up. So that's my tip on that as well. Yes, Drew Rogers made a good point here, as you guys can see the comments scrolling through. I'm going to figure out how to do this. So we're using a software here called Restream. And so Restream allows me to do this live to put it on multiple places at the same time. Like right now, I'm live on Facebook in 2 different places, YouTube, should be Twitch soon. I don't know if that's up there right now. A couple different things, right? Now, if you notice, if you look on the comments here, some people say their name, Drew Rogers, Brent McClure, Jesse Skaggs, right? And some say Facebook user, right? Now, why does it say Facebook user? Well, I don't want to call it a glitch, but it's a thing where if you're in Siteman Softball Nation Facebook group and commenting on here, it's going to say Facebook user. If you're on my page, facebook.com/David Garland, it's going to say your name. However, there is a way for you to like click permission to use your name from the group. I'm going to find out how to do that, and I'm going to post it in the group. I don't know how to do it right now. I will do it and post it, and then boom, you're going to end up being able to see your name if you're in the Facebook group as well. I think it's going to be some kind of thing that you click where it says, hey, do you have permission to use your name? And you say yes, and then boom, you'll be off to the races. And we could see your wonderful name. For example, right now it says Facebook user. Let's go. Love that poster behind us. It's actually a painting, but hey, glad you like that one. It's a painting. Cool. I agree with you. So that pretty much wraps it up for today's episode. I do want to mention something else on the way out here before we give a couple other shout outs on the way out. Something that I'm doing soon, and this is unrelated to softball, but might be relevant to some of you that are watching here today, and it might be to some of you as well, is that, when I got my start for many years was building up businesses online. I was an OG podcaster, had an education business that I sold, several software companies. Actually, I'm a lead investor in a new software company that's about to launch soon, which is going to be pretty cool. Over the years, I had a book deal with Wiley Publishing and started kind of sharing some tips, advice, stories, things like that from the world of business to kind of help people out and getting back into that a little bit. I've been doing that in a few years. I'm getting back into that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, to keep things very simple, is that I'm doing a little weekly newsletter that's going to be tips, advice, stories, things like that to kind of help people level up their business, level up their world, level up their life type of thing, So if you're interested in business, entrepreneur, future entrepreneur, small business owner, whatever it might be, we're going to be weekly newsletter that's going to be starting next week. The plan is, I believe the day I'm going to do it is going to be Thursdays. And it's just going to be a simple once a week newsletter, absolutely free. Going to be sharing cool stuff on there. And let me make sure I get the right sign up for this. If anyone wants to check it out from here, it is going to be SitemanGarlandConsulting.com/newsletter. So SitemanGarlandConsulting.com/newsletter. Let me see if I get that on the screen here. SitemanGarlandConsulting.com/newsletter. Boom. Now I just have to hit share my screen. Let's say allow. And you could probably see that now on the screen. And all you have to do is just enter your email right here, and you'll join the VIP newsletter of Awesome. I'm going to kick out some tips about once a week. So that out. And I promise you, it will not be a snooze fest. So SitemanGarlandConsulting.com/newsletter. Enter your email, 100% free. Be sure to check that out, my friends. Okay. On the way out, another shout out. Thank you to Siteman Cancer Center. Reminder on that, GetScreenedNow.com. GreatScreenNow.com. GetScreenedNow.com, not Great Screen Now. GetScreenedNow.com to find out where and when you could get yourself a cancer screening. And there's a variety of different things that you can see on there that will help you out. I'll show that on the screen one more time. If you're in a website that looks like that, you went to the right place. All right, my friends, I will see you next time.